The tipping point came almost simultaneously in Algeria and then Sudan in early 2019. President Abdulaziz Bouteflika's 20-year reign ended on April the 2nd. And 9 days later, the same happened to Sudan's Umar al-Bashir. Both were ousted by the military after months of popular protests against government corruption and the stifling of political dissent. But the demonstrators did not stop there.
If they don't bring a civilian government representing the Sudanese people properly, our revolution will be incomplete and would not represent the hopes and dreams of the Sudanese. And for this reason, we will continue to strike and we will stay at the square until all our legitimate demands are met.
Initially, the military was reluctant to hand over power, but opposition members staged peaceful protests and refused to back down, even in the face of brute force.
The country that looks most promising right now is Sudan, because in the Sudan, after the overthrow of Bashir, by the military actually negotiated with a coalition of civilian forces, and they came to a power-sharing agreement.
The downfall of Bouteflika and Bashir sent shockwaves around the region, and particularly its epicenter, Egypt. The Arab Spring had peaked in 2011 with protests in Cairo's Tahrir Square, ending the 30-year reign of Egyptian ruler Hosni Mubarak. But the revolution appeared to have dissipated after the country's first popularly elected government, led by Mohamed Morsi, was ousted by the military under now President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Sisi's brutal crackdown against all forms of dissent appears to have sent Egypt back to its darkest days under Mubarak. And international support continued due to Egypt's role in the fight against Daesh. Then, in September, a former army contractor accused Sisi and his family of misusing public funds. Muhammad Ali made the allegations from Spain, where he is currently seeking asylum. His call for an end to Sisi's rule again ignited the streets of Egypt.
Every inch of Egypt should come out for freedom. There will be no physical assault. Do not be scared of police officers. Do not be scared of the state security. Do not be scared of them breaking into your home. This is a people's revolution. We have to liberate ourselves.
So far, Sisi's security forces have been able to control the situation.
What seems to be different, at least in the countries where the second wave of uprising started, namely Algeria and Sudan, is that the protesters seem to be ready to, first of all, continue the protest indefinitely, but to actually control power afterwards.
Experts also say the poor economic conditions across the Arab world have played a huge part in the new Arab Spring. In Lebanon, people want the entire government to be replaced. They say they will not go away until a new and more representative constitution is introduced. But perhaps the most surprising flashpoint is Iraq, in a country riven with sectarian divisions and tainted by some of the worst atrocities of the 21st century. The people appear to have come together. And the demand is not just for the end of the government.
This entire political entity, all the politicians and religious parties must be rooted out so that there will be a future for these young people. The future is for the youth. They robbed us of our good years, and now they want to take away the youth years as well. That's not acceptable.
It's this clarion call for an end to the established political order in the Arab world that has many governments worried. But whether the people in Iraq, Lebanon, and even Sudan can actually bring in a fully representative system remains to be seen. Shoaib Hasan, TRT World.